all of it, but I got most of it. I know the rest. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Did it start?
It started.
Oh, hi. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
This is a very strange Shabbat for all of us. For Noni and I here in the sanctuary with no one except for my husband Mike Rose, who is helping us with the tech. For you, probably sitting at home or wherever you are, watching us on your computer. It's not an easy way for us to do this, but we are fortunate that we are able to be together, at least in this way, in this time. And so I invite you to take a moment in what has been a very hectic week for me and has likely been a hectic week for you, to take a deep breath, as we do every week, and open yourself up to Shabbat peace. Shabbat peace is available everywhere, not just in the sanctuary. If you have access to the Mishkan Tefillah flip book, we are beginning on page 20 of that document. It's page 120 in the prayer books, either in the bracketed numbers or in the only number. I will remind you that if you would like to borrow a prayer book for the next 2 weeks to have at home, that is fine. You may come by and pick one up during the week, or let us know and we will try to get one to you. So we begin with the blessing over the candles. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who have joined in this service in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadliknem shel Shabbat. We turn now to page 123, and since we do have one person here, Michael Rose, he is going to come up to read the Kiddush.
So I have a prayer book.
I have a prayer book.
Convenient.
Yes.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who, finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor you made the holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat.
If you're able, please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam borei b'ri hadafeh. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu
You may be seated. I'm not practicing social distancing from my husband. But we should all practice social distancing from people who we're not married to. Or, parents of. Okay, we are turning now in the books to page 128 for Yidid Nefesh, Heart's Delight, Source of Mercy, draw your servant into your arms. I leap like a deer to stand in awe before you.
Yedid nefesh ha'varachaman, Yedid nefesh ha'varachaman, Meshokadecha, el ritzonecha, Meshokadecha, el la-la-la-la-la, el ritzonecha. Yarut adecha, kemo hayal, ishaka velay-lay-lay, la-la-la-lay-lay, elmul hadarecha.
And we turn now to page 138 if you have books. And I'm sorry I don't have the flip book numbers for everything, so I hope you can find it if you're using the flip book. Lecha Dodi, it invites us to say to one another, beloved, come with me to greet the Shabbat bride. And so we imagine the Shabbat bride joining us and bringing us joy and beauty on this Shabbat.
Lecha dodi lekra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shalom v'zachor b'nei kol echad, Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'nei tehillah. Lecha dodi lekra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki mekol haracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'rach Shabbat tehillah. Lecha dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, 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 uri, shir daveri, kevod Adonai, alayich nigla. Lecha dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Bori v'shalom atet bala, gam v'simcha u'v'tzola, tov imunei am segula. Bori chala, lecha dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. The Baruch Hu, the call to worship, is on page 146
I invite you to rise, and if you know which way is east, turn and face that way, and know that all of us are facing in the same direction, directing our prayers to the east toward Jerusalem. Page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my sibling, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my dear sibling, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Page 150.
Ahavat olam mit Yisrael, alechavta amcha ata, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu meshachbenu, u'chumeinu nasiach bechukecha, v'nizmach v'divrei toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam v'ed. Ihenu chayenu, v'oret yameinu, u'v'henege yomam v'layla, v'geyomam v'layla, v'ahavata tasir, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael.
The Shema is on page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam v'ed.
If you're standing, you may be seated.
Vishina
Page 156. All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign and Savior, who delivers us from oppressors' hands and saves us from tyrants' fists. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps. You performed miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously. Page 160. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
164 is where the tefillah begins. If you choose, please rise and face to the east.
Adonai, sefatai tikta, ufia hitehilataha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai, Adonai, Eloheinu, 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 Yitzchak, Eloheinu, Yaakov, Eloheinu, Sarah, Eloheinu, Rivka, Eloheinu, Rachel, Eloheinu, Leah, Adem, Hagadol, Hagibor, Hanbarah, Elyon, Omer Chasadim Tovim, Leonei Rahol, Lezocher Chaser V'Yimamot, U'Mevim La'Livnei Lehem, Leman Shemo Be'Ahava, Melech Ozer, Moshiach Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magid Avraham, Bezat Sarah, Atah Gibor Elam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah V'Hoshia, Mashiach HaRuach, U'Morid HaDashen, Mechaken Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim B'Rafeh Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mechayeh Emunato, Mishenei Afar, Michamocha B'Giburot, U'Midon Elah, Melech Nid, U'Machayeh, U'Matziach Yeshua, V'Ne'eman Atah HaChayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. HaKadosh, V'Shimcha HaKadosh, V'Doshim Lechol Yom, Yehallelu Ha'asela, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKadosh.
You may be seated. Page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch Atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat. Page 175. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch Atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yir'ah na'avod. Page 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch Atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha Ulecha Na'el Lehodot. Page 178.
Tasim leolam, b'tovin echol levarech, et alcha Yisrael, b'chol eit v'chol shahat, b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam.
Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. On the next couple of pages, 180 and 181, we continue quietly. And if you have access to a prayer book, you could use the words on the page, but you can always use the words in your own heart.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O God, my rock and my redeemer, my rock and my redeemer. May they be acceptable in your sight, O God.
We turn our thoughts now to those in our hearts who are ill and who are in need of healing, of body, of mind, or of spirit. Our Misha Berach is on page 371 in the prayer book, and we hold in our thoughts and in our hearts for healing this evening Shirley Hyatt, Robert Serpico, Evelyn Urbano, Jesse Sakharov, Ronnie Turek, Ira Weiss, Elaine Drucker, Alan Fremer, Emma Rose Tuttleman Kriegler, Bradford Morrow, Susan Bilecki, Michael Luck, Nathan Aaron Robbins, Andrew Mazzella, Linda Feller, Shelley Oken, Alana Berger, Marianne Pandolfo, and Jeffrey Levinson. Earlier by email, I invited you to send in names that you wanted to add for healing. And so Susan Sisler has asked to add Dolores Weinberger, Ingrid Grosso, Roberta Gotthelf, Audrey Cohen, and Fran Sisler. Jamie Orenstein adds Ray Deary, Jack Weinstein, David Barron, and Troy Kadash. Diane and Lester Schenker add Max Broxmeyer. Ellen Rothstein adds Peter Levy, Robert Donnellan, Rebecca Rothstein, Helen Polk, and Bambi Polk. Linda Horowitz adds Sandy Alphonse and Shelley Silverstein. Rita Landberg adds George Landberg. Jennifer Tattenbaum adds Jessica Ramsey and Stacy Freed. Pam Glansman adds Andy Glansman, Ira and Deanna Roth, Samuel Francis Owen Strain. Linda Feller adds Annie Nusamovici and Michelle Nusamovici. And Jan Hutner adds Max Lukowitz. I'd like to give you a moment. Oh, Mike, you have a name to add as well.
Pat Rose, Robert Cromer.
I'd like to give you a moment to add any other names that we have not said aloud here. We also include all of those who have been wounded in service to our country or Israel, and those who are suffering from the effects of coronavirus at this time, and those suffering from the effects of the measures we are taking to mitigate the spread of coronavirus, both in our community and outside of our community, and those who have been harmed in recent disasters, both natural and human created. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
What we are going through right now as a community, a city, a country, and a world is different than anything most of us have ever experienced before. In a matter of just a few weeks, we have been inundated with information that is often confusing and changes rapidly. And in many ways, our worlds have been turned upside down. It is so strange to be here in an empty sanctuary, except for Mike and Noni. It's not completely empty. But to see no one sitting in the seats, talking to you, and not being able to see you. Although please rest assured that if you are a Friday night regular, I'm imagining you in your usual seat. It's not just strange to be here like this. It's also sad and it's hard. And I hope it won't be for long. For some of you, I know that it seems like people are overreacting. The number of cases is still fairly small in this country. For many people, the symptoms of the virus aren't too severe. But the experts, the infectious disease doctors, the CDC, the World Health Organization, say that this is the right approach, what we're doing right now. And so for a while, we're being asked to live in a way that is hard and that hurts and that we're not used to. And we don't know for how long or what will come next. Our Torah portion this week is Ki Tisa. The Israelites are at Mount Sinai. Moses has been up on the mountain alone, listening to God for many days. The Israelites don't know where he is, haven't seen him in a long time, and they conclude that he isn't coming back. They turn to Aaron, who has been left in charge, They gather against him, and he capitulates to them and creates an idol, the golden calf. It's easy to condemn the Israelites for this, and Moses certainly is furious with them when he comes down the mountain. He's so angry that he shatters the tablets God gave him with the law carved on them. But in the times that we're in right now, it might not be so hard to imagine ourselves in the Israelites' sandals. They lived all their lives as slaves in Egypt. It was terrible, but they knew what to expect. They understood how their world worked. Then, after a whirlwind of plagues, signs, and wonders, they're now in the wilderness. It's a new place, new circumstances, a new kind of life that is just beginning to be defined. And the person they've been following, depending on for information and instruction, seems to be gone for good. Sometimes people who are afraid make bad decisions. Sometimes they make very bad decisions. And here we are now, in a new situation, watching the stock market fall, having business travel canceled, seeing empty restaurants and subways and crowded stores with empty shelves that used to hold toilet paper and hand sanitizer. Some of us are working from home. Some of us are losing our jobs or losing work if we're contract workers. A performer and educator I know in Israel says he will likely lose 2/3 of his income this year, as performances are already being canceled. Some schools have closed. We don't know what is going to happen. This new way of living our lives has only begun to be defined. A lot of people are afraid, and sometimes people who are afraid make bad decisions. The thing about the Israelites is that they didn't know it was a bad decision when they were making it. They thought it was a good decision. It was only in retrospect that it turned out to be really an extraordinarily bad decision. That's the thing about us too. We're in the middle of this, and it's very hard to know what is a good decision and what isn't. So tonight I'd like to offer a few principles that I believe can help us to make the best decisions that we can, even though we may be confused and afraid. First, we should listen to the experts. Check sources before we share information and make sure the information is correct. Follow the advice of the CDC and the World Health Organization, any infectious disease doctors that we may know, and the city government. We should not follow the advice of a random friend of a friend on Facebook who tells us that a hot bath kills the virus, which, by the way, it definitely does not. Second, consider your needs, but also consider the needs of those whose circumstances are different than yours. We know that those who are immunocompromised or elderly are at greater risk of having severe symptoms from this new virus. We will make better decisions about what to do when we are thinking about the good not only of ourselves, but also the people around us. Third, let's recognize that when we have to make decisions, we will not always know right away whether they will end up being good decisions or bad ones. There's also always a range of decisions that are okay, or decisions that are right at the time but still don't have good outcomes. When we make the best decisions we can with the information that is available, let's have compassion for ourselves and for others, whatever the outcome of those decisions may be. And fourth, we should do the best we can to make our decisions based on evidence and not out of fear or panic. It can be so hard to separate those two. But I think that making evidence-based decisions helps us to make good decisions. And finally, let's recognize how hard the decisions we're having to make right now are. And that there are no decisions that we can make right now that don't cause pain. They can be the right decisions and still be painful. Because there are no decisions that don't cause harm right now. The impact on the economy is already being felt from all of the closures and from social distancing. Deciding what to cancel and what to close is a matter of weighing different kinds of damage to people's lives, not damage versus no damage. Keeping the public schools open versus closing them is one of the best examples of an incredibly difficult decision, a matter of life or death either way. Because if the schools stay open, it could cause the virus to spread more. But if the schools close, over 100,000 children won't have enough to eat. And it's those very same children whose parents cannot afford to take off work to care for them if they're not in school. So let us have understanding for those on whom the weight of these kinds of decisions lands. We hope and we pray that the measures we are taking will indeed slow the spread of the virus, so that everyone who needs medical attention can get it and our hospitals are not overwhelmed. The fact that you are watching me on a screen instead of sitting in this sanctuary is part of our community doing its part. So let us recognize the holiness of that. The way that we are contributing to Pekuach Nefesh, saving lives. We are acting using the best information we have. We are not acting out of panic or fear as the Israelites did. And so let us continue to support one another even though we are physically apart. I am thinking of all of you with love, and I am missing being together with you in person. So please reach out to me if you want to, or if you feel you need to. I'm doing okay, but I'm happy to talk. I'm happy to have contact on the phone or by FaceTime or whatever you like. May we be blessed with having the feeling of being together, even though we are not together in person. May we act with wisdom, and may we remain healthy and safe. Amen and Shabbat Shalom. We turn now to the Aleinu. It begins on page 586. The one at the top? We're going to do the one at the bottom of the page if you have a prayer book. It's the one more familiar to you. We turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us, our loved ones who have died in the past days or weeks or months, or in past years at this time of the year. The Mourner's Kaddish is in the prayer book on page 598, and we remember those who have died in the past year. Bess Newman, Buzz Lorch, Edward Albino, Joseph Davis, Jerry Charon, Gary Zeitlin, Sean Devlin, David Levy, Lenny Drucker, Beverly Tredinick, Evelyn Pincus, Rita Spiro, Beatrice B.J. Jacobs, Melvin Jorgrau, Gloria Katzen, Lorraine Elner, Amanda Corwin, Mel Paul, Nigel Grant, Benjamin Resnick, Robin Silverman, Jeanette Zarrow, Claire Strauss, Roberta Kessman, Joshua Steiner, Andrew M. Cohen, Netta Albright, Roz Kirschenbaum, Robert Pincus, Frida Schreiber, Mark Koser, Jacques Rosampique. This week, our yard sites also include George Landberg's mother, Jean Landberg, Karen Wilco's grandfather, Samuel Levy, Freema Schneier's sister, Marcia Miller, Yvette Pomerantz's mother, Estelle Pomerantz, Maxine Resnick's father, Harold Resnick, Gina Anderson's father, J. Kenneth Schachter, Phyllis Schweiger's father, William Schenken, and Harvey Wang's mother, Edna Wang. I invited people to send in names for the Mourner's Kaddish. Jamie Orenstein asked us to mention Alicia Daniels. Janice asked us to mention Harold Rubin. Ellen Rothstein asked us to mention Sheila Catan, Patty Byhoff, Abe Levine, Dr. Mark Leibowitz, Dr. Tina Polk, and Dr. Austin Schlecker. Deb Lorber asked us to remember Bernard Lorber. I'd like to invite you now to add the names of anyone for whom you are saying the Mourner's Kaddish this evening. We also include, oh, Mike, you have one to add. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting that there is someone in the room.
Bethia Bryce.
Bethia Bryce, thank you. We also include all of those who have died around the world, whether or not they had anyone to say Kaddish for them, and whether they perished in war or famine or terror or disaster, or alone and homeless on our city streets. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598, and I invite you to participate with us according to your custom and whatever feels right to you in this moment. If you would like, you could rise and join in. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei yamlich malchutei, v'chayefon u'yomechon u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shemei dekudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Damiran belma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to the bereaved wherever they may be. And let us say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
V'imru
Amen.
amen. I'll make a few announcements. Nothing is happening. No, I'm kidding. Things are happening. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., go to our Facebook page and Rabbi Pinsky will present some Purim songs on Facebook Live. And at 11 a.m., come right back to this same YouTube channel for Shabbat services, which I will lead. We are not having the Purim Carnival that had been planned. And here are the things that are not happening this week. Israeli dance will not be happening this week. Afternoon Torah study will not be happening this week. And Tat Shabbat will not be happening this week. We are going to try to move some things online if it's possible. So stay tuned to your email for announcements about how you can access things. We will send along that information. So that's pretty much it. If you would like to give to Tzedakah, please do so online. And I hope that you have some entenments or something that you can nosh on for an oneg. Are we doing a closing song? We're going to do a closing song.
We'll all sing Shalom Aleichem.
Let's sing Shalom Aleichem. Do you have a page number for that?
I do. It's page 627 or 323.
Page 627 or 323,
Depending
which
on
is
the book.
potentially unhelpful both ways. But let's sing it.
Or just start eating the intimates now, and I'll sing it.
Okay, don't get crumbs on your keyboard.
Shalom
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet,
הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי העליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine on you and be gracious to you. May God lift God's face toward you and give you peace.
Amen.
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 Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.